So this is a Tesla killer. All right, welcome to the new episode of Owner's Words. We are here with this BYD Sealion 07. For this car, we're not unpacking it, we're actually reviewing it with the man who owns it, Mr. Joe.
Hello.
I'm Jack, and this is Where to Go. This is a newly launched pure electric car from BYD, a mid-size SUV, and it's a long-range version. Well, I can't help but notice that people are comparing this car with Tesla Model Y. Well, I don't know, they only seem to resemble one another in terms of size. What's the price like? How much did it cost you to buy this car?
这个车的话是我国庆节购入的，这一款是610的长航版，指导价的话是19万9800，有一个车商优惠的一个3000，然后加上国家政府的一个补贴，有6%的一个补贴，差不多就在20万以内吧。
So did you buy this car for yourself or for your family?
其实这个车主要是家里面使用，工作日中间的话就是我的妻子使用的多一点。好，周末的话就是我本人要驾驶的多一点。
所以还是整体的一个大家都在用的
啊，对。
Do you have any other options on your wish list?
也有对比，特斯拉的话是当时首先 pass 了，工作原因嘛。
对。
国产的话，比亚迪的话，3电的话是国内响当当的嘛，它就是一线嘛，当时优先考虑的就是比亚迪。
So, the gentleman here seems to be pretty clear about his demands, and the reasons are solid. I'm gonna dig in for more. Now, this is a long-range version, so it has 80 kilowatt-hour, and it's supposed to last over 600 kilometers. But does it?
个人感觉是达不到理论上的610公里的。通过实际情况来看的话，只能跑500多，还是有一定的折扣的。
What's the mile range like throughout the year?
差距最大的就是夏天和冬天，还有一个就是城区和那个高速的差别。自己的测试来看的话，城区的达成的话，里航要好一点。跑高速的话，它的里航衰减就很快。大概是多少？大概有打个7折，在高速公路。然后冬天和夏天也有一定的差距。天气暖和的时候的话，也能跑500多。像冬天这个天的话，打上空调的话，估计也就400多。目前来说，正常工作使用的话是问题不大的。因为不跑长途的话，就是还是可以的。
Are you concerned about the battery aging or the mileage drop?
买电车的人其实对电池衰减的这个是最大的顾虑，毕竟购入时间很短，要到3-5年以后，它具体能衰减到什么程度呢？只有通过时间来检验了。
Well, this is kind of yellow flag for cold winter residents because the battery wasn't even standing straight up in this subtropical region. Oh, I'm a little worried because we're about to enter the hard part. I'm going to read some complaints online that's been repeatedly brought up by the owners to see if you are in the same pit. So the first one, strange noise when using AC or charging.
目前使用的话，我是没遇到这个空调使用或者充电的时候有异响的。
Number two, SOC instability, like the percentage of battery would just surge to 100% over a blink.
这个问题我没遇到，但是我遇到可能是有其他的问题，就是在快电桩上充电的时候，就是97%或者6%的时候，它显示已经充不进去了电，就是已经充满了。那其实的话，还是有几% 的一个电池才能充满，但是慢充的话是没有的。
Okay, so number three, lousy assembly of dash and door panel.
这个确实有。那个装配工艺的话，我觉得有一定的进步空间的需要。我自己的车的话，那个车门肉眼可以看到有的地方它的衔接还是不是够完美，就是空隙还是比较大的。这种情况是确实有的。
I think overall that's not a very big problem. So the last one, unavailable slow charge, which turns out to be a battery charger failure, needs replacement.
目前我还没遇到这类故障，都是正常使用的因为这种故障吧，应该也是。像这样电子和车机产品嘛，它肯定是有一定概率的可能是我是那种幸运的，其中幸运的那一部分。
Yeah, you're a lucky man.
对。
He is a lucky man. But we're not done yet. We're gonna hit the road to see if there's any more to talk about. So we're driving on the fast lane, but it doesn't feel like one. The dual pane glass is doing a great job canceling all those noises. Sir, can you give me 3 features that's your favorite?
首先嘛，你上开车嘛，就是驾驶座椅这一块它有一个记忆的功能，同时还有一个存储一个备用座椅的功能。我觉得这个功能对我还是比较实用的。第二个呢，后备箱 我们之前是手摇的，现在它这个是自动升降的，而且有那个防手夹。第3个功能就是在行驶过程中啊，我觉得它那个跟车，有时候比如说车辆堵塞的时候，或者上高速的时候，它有一个叫领航模式，这个我觉得比较适用，就是它会根据你开车的一个速度和距离自动调节，让你跟随前面的车。这个功能是我以前其他车是没怎么使用过的，就这3点是我个人对这辆车觉得比较满意的3个点。
That's a very useful 3 features, I think. Yeah, some of them I would use that daily because that really, ease my mind and take my burdens off. So is there any features that is missing on this car but you feel that you would love to have on this car?
我觉得一个电冰箱，冰箱我觉得应该这个很实用的，但是这个车没有，这是我很意外的。这是这个级别的，这是缺少这个东西。第2个就是你也发现了，其实这个车本来是家庭用嘛，副驾的一个功能就是现在好多燃油车10万级的车都有一个女王座驾，或者是腿托的一个背靠，或者是让你进行一个按摩啊这些功能，就是我觉得这个车这一点是缺少的。吐槽的就是有一个功能，应该好多车友都反映到了，它有这个功能，硬件上是达到了，但是它没给你使用，这是我觉得很不好的一方，就是哨兵模式，就是比如说不小心停在外面被刮了，你都不知道，这是我觉得它一个需要后面会去改进的。
So BYD, I don't know if you're watching this, but if you are, please make sure you listen, okay? This is kind of important. Mr. Joe here just mentioned 3 points, and I think they all matter, and they all could have a great help for the whole experience. So this car has 313 horsepower, all pushes out on the rear axle, 0 to 100 in less than 7 seconds, and a top speed of 225 kilometers per hour. Well, just from the stats, I think this car BYD is doing a really good job, and this is a drivable car. So, sir, are you with me on this? Do you like how this car drives? Do you like the power?
我觉得还是对于我们城市通勤的话完全够用了。它的动力可以说是随叫随到，动力这个表现来说，我是相当的满意的。高速上的话，这是外边担心它超速，这一脚油上去，它就120了。像国内限速的话，都基本上120，它完全够用了。
So just from my experience, just from during the past few kilometers, I think this power is really enough, even though this car is over 2 tons weight. Well, since it's an SUV, I wouldn't see it as a drive machine, but more in terms of practicality. So how does it feel, this chassis, this whole body feels? Do you like it?
这个底盘感受的话，和我开过的其他车比的话，它给人的感觉就是一个放心、扎实，就是很稳，也不说非常优秀嘛，只是说我感觉就是能达到我心里的一个预期。
Yeah, I agree with you on this. This feels really good. Now we're driving on a mountain, and there's so many curves that you definitely feel the tires are pressed all the way to the ground, and it's reassuring. It feels good. Okay, sir. Now I know you like this car very much, and to be honest, I kind of do too. But we have to go through the procedure here, okay? And so another shit list for this car. And number 1, a gear jump in motion. Well, this one is pretty big, I think. The gear would jump from D to P when you are driving, during your driving. Have you ever had this?
目前我没遇到过，就是驾驶的顺畅度还是比较好，除非就是误超，有可能就是停车的时候、倒车的时候，有可能有时候档位没挂对啊，有这种情况。但是正常行驶过程中是目前来说没出现过跳档啊。
Okay. That's good, because I think this is kind of big because you are driving, and that kind of gear jump would really be fatal to anyone in the car or anybody, any car around it. And number 2, autonomous driving failure. There would be cars keep blocking right in front of yourself, so it will kind of interfere with the whole autonomous driving process. Do you ever had this?
自驾的话，我一般在低速或者城区道路我一般不开，还是这个功能还是比较实用。
Really good. Okay. And number 3, there would be noise when crawling up a slope.
因为一般你说爬坡的话，它这种对路况的要求的话是条件可能要比较特殊一点。比如说像农村道路，或者是那种毛坯道路，或者是这种非铺装的道路，可能会遇到这种情况。目前来说就是在城区道路是没有遇到过的。
好的。And number 4, the last one, this is really crucial. I think this power system failure.
那这个问题太大了，太可怕了。但是我估计我比较幸运，这样的几率我是目前来说是没遇到的。
So if anything like this happened to you, would you think that would kill your love for this brand?
那肯定的。之前我们都是传统的燃油车，这也是我人生当中的第一辆电车。肯定是不希望发生之前你提到过这些类似的一些就是关于安全性或者是对我生命有危害的一些问题的。就是主要是能达到这几点：安全、舒适、放心。那我觉得它能就一直保持这种良好的一个造车的一个理念或者是一个质量的话，在电车行业的话，它如果连它都做不到这一点吧，我估计其他电车估计路还更长。
Well, you may get away with all those problems above, but let's be honest, some of them are really, really concerning. And I haven't had enough of this car, so fingers crossed, hope I don't have any of them during my drive. Yeah, let's go. Well, till now, I think this is a nice ride, and Mr. Joe here obviously loves it. Price-wise, this car is half a notch higher than the most proud of BYD's product, with all those extra gimmicks and features. And yeah, there are errors waiting to be corrected, but it all comes down to your preference and demands. All I'm here is offering a different angle. So thank you so much for your sharing. It's really a lot, and I really love it, and hope you like it too. I'm Jack, this is Where to Go, and make sure you like and subscribe for more. We'll see you soon in the next video.